This is Dr. T. Muthulakshmi, Associate Professor, Department of Mathematics, Faculty of Science and Humanities, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. I am handling the subject Employability Skills and Practices. Today I am going to deliver the lecture on various topics such as quadratic equation, profit and loss problems, discount and rebate, and finally we see video profile. So in this presentation, I list a table of contents which are going to be explained here. So first thing, what is the definition of employability skills? Second, why are employability skills important? Then we discuss about quadratic equation and related concepts. So finally we see video profiling. So what is the definition of employability skills? According to STEMnet means Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics Network. Employability is defined as transferable skills needed by an individual to make them employable. Employability relates to your knowledge, skills and attitudes, how you use those assets and how you present them to employers in today's context. Today, your education and experience may only be enough to qualify for a job, but to be successful in most roles in the field of emerging technologies, you will need soft skills like communication, teamwork, and problem solving. These soft skills that will equip you to carry out your role in the company to the best of your ability are also referred to as employability skills. Building blocks of any career, these skills are what make you employable across roles, sectors and industries. Employers usually want to see that you already have these soft skills before hiring because they are much harder to teach. Why are employability skills important? These set of job readiness skills are in essence behaviors that are necessary for every job and are essential attitudes that allow you to grow in your career and also efficiently let you connect with co-workers, solve problems, be a part of and understand your role within the team, make responsible choices for your job and your career, be independent and take charge of your career. So first we discuss about quadratic equation. So what is quadratic equation? Quadratic equations are the polynomial equations of degree 2 in one variable of type f of x equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where a, b, c belong to R. R is a real number and a is not equal to 0. So it is the general form of a quadratic equation where a is called the leading coefficient and c is called the absolute term of f of x. The values of x satisfying the quadratic equation are the roots of the quadratic equation f of x. The quadratic equation will always have two roots. The nature of roots may be either real or imaginary. A quadratic polynomial, when equated to 0, becomes a quadratic equation. The values of x satisfying the equation are called the roots of the quadratic equation. General form of quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. For example, 3x square plus x plus 5 equal to 0, minus x square plus 7x plus 5 equal to 0, x square plus x equal to 0. So quadratic equation means it is of degree 2. So next, the formula for finding the roots of the quadratic equation is minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. The roots of the quadratic equation x equal to minus b plus or minus root d by 2a, where d equal to b square minus 4ac. D is called the discriminant. So, first we discuss about nature of roots. If D greater than 0, roots are real and distinct, that is unequal. If D equal to 0, roots are real and equal. If D less than 0, roots are imaginary and unequal. The roots alpha plus I beta, alpha minus I beta are the conjugate pair of each other. Nature of roots of quadratic equation. If the value of discriminant equal to 0, that is b square minus 4ac equal to 0, the quadratic equation will have equal roots. That is alpha beta are the roots, alpha equal to beta equal to minus b by 2a. If the value of discriminant less than 0, that is b square minus 4ac less than 0, the quadratic equation will have imaginary roots. That is alpha equal to p plus iq and beta equal to p minus iq, where iq denotes the imaginary part of a complex number. If the value of discriminant greater than 0, that is b square minus 4ac greater than 0, the quadratic equation will have real roots. If the value of discriminant greater than 0 and d is a perfect square, the quadratic equation will have rational roots. If the value of discriminant d greater than 0 and d is not a perfect square, the quadratic equation will have irrational roots. Next, I give introduction to profit and loss. Profit and loss formula is used in mathematics to determine the price of a commodity in the market and understand how profitable a business is. Every product has a cost price and a selling price. Based on the values of these prices, we can calculate the profit gained or the loss incurred for a particular product. The important terms covered here are cost price, fixed, variable and semi-variable cost, selling price, market price, list price, margin, etc. Also, we will learn the profit and loss formula here. Profit and loss basic concepts. The definition of profit means the amount gained by selling a product with more than its cost price. Loss means the amount the seller incurs after selling the product less than its cost price is mentioned as a loss. Cost price is the amount paid for a product or commodity. To purchase it is called a cost price, also denoted as CP. This cost price further is classified into two different categories. Fixed cost. The fixed cost is constant. It does not vary under any circumstances. Variable cost, it could vary depending as per the number of units. Next, we see the definition of selling price. The amount for which the product is sold is called selling price. It is usually denoted as SP, also sometimes called a sale price. Market price formula is, this is basically labeled by shopkeepers to offer a discount to the customers in such a way that discount equal to market price minus selling price and discount percentage equal to discount divided by market price into 100. So now let us find profit formula and loss formula. The profit or gain is equal to the selling price minus cost price. Loss is equal to cost price minus selling price. Profit or gain equal to selling price minus cost price. Similarly, we can define loss equal to cost price minus selling price. Profit percentage formula: profit divided by cost price into 100. Loss percentage equal to loss by cost per price into 100. So, some examples for profit and loss. If a shopkeeper brings a cloth for rupees 100 and sells it for rupees 120, then he has made a profit of 20 rupees. If a salesperson has bought a textile material for rupees 300 and he has to sell it for rupees 250, then he has gone through a loss of 50. Suppose Ram brings a football for rupees 500 and he sells it to his friend for rupees 600, then Ram has made a profit of rupees 100. So with the gain percentage of 20. So we solve some problems. Suppose a shopkeeper has bought 1 kg of apples for 100 rupees and sold it for rupees 120 per kg. How much is the profit gained by him? Cost price for apples is 100 rupees. So given that cost price for apples is 100 rupees, selling price for apple is 120 rupees, then profit gained by shopkeeper is P equal to SP minus CP. So therefore P equal to 120 minus 100 equal to 20. Hence the required answer is rupees 20. So next problem. For the above example, calculate the percentage of the profit gained by the shopkeeper. We know profit percentage equal to profit divided by cost price into 100. So therefore profit percentage equal to 20 divided by 100 into 100 equal to 20. So next one problem, a man buys a fan for rupees 1000 and sells it at a loss of 15%. What is the selling price of the fan? Cost price of the fan is rupees 1000. So given that loss percentage is 15%, so as we know loss percentage equal to loss by cost price into 100. So you just substitute. So given that loss percentage is 15%, so left hand side we have 15 equal to loss by 1000 into 100. So therefore loss equal to 150 rupees. So loss equal to cost price minus selling price. So hence selling price equal to cost price minus loss. So 1000 minus 150. So therefore the required answer is 850. If a pen cost rupees 50 after 10% discount, then what is the actual price or market price of the pen? Market price into 100 minus 10 divided by 100 equal to 50. Market price into 90 by 100 equal to 50. So therefore market price equal to 50 into 100 divided by 90. So therefore required answer is 55.55. So we learned some profit and loss tricks. So you have learned until now how to calculate profit as well as loss, also the percentage of them. So now let us learn some tricks or formulas to solve maths problems based on gain and loss, starting from the general formulas. So first formula, profit P equal to SP minus CP if SP greater than CP. Suppose if CP greater than SP, then loss L equal to CP minus SP. Profit percentage equal to P by CP into 100. L percentage equal to L by CP into 100. Then SP equal to 100 plus P percentage divided by 100 into CP. So next formula for selling price, 100 minus L percentage divided by 100 into CP. Cost price formula 100 divided by 100 plus P percentage into SP. Cp equal to 100 divided 100 minus L percentage into SP. Discount formula market price minus selling price. Therefore, from this formula selling price equal to market price minus discount. So when there are two successful profits, say m percentage and n percentage, then the net percentage profit equals to m plus n plus mn divided by 100. When the profit is m percentage and loss is n percentage, then the net percentage profit or loss will be m minus n minus mn divided by 100. If a product is sold at m percentage for profit and then again sold at n percentage profit, then the actual cost price of the product will be Cp equal to 100 into 100 into P divided by 100 plus m 100 plus m. So in case of loss, Cp equal to 100 into 100 into P by 100 minus m 100 minus m. So if P percentage and L percentage are equal, then P equal to L and loss percentage equal to P square by 100. So points to remember. So for profit, the selling price should be more than the cost price. For loss, cost price should be more than the selling price. The percentage value for profit and loss is calculated in terms of cost price. So next we are going to discuss units digit. So first, what is units digit? Units digit of a number is the digit in the ones place of the number. That it is the rightmost digit of the number. For example, units digit of 243 is 3. The units digit of 39 is 9. That is, units digit means last digit. So for the concept of identifying the unit digit, we have to first familiarize with the concept of cyclicity. Cyclicity of any number is about the last digit and how they appear in a certain defined manner. Let's take an example to clear this thing. Cyclicity short of 2 is 2 power 1 equal to 2, 2 square equal to 4, 2 cube equal to 8, 2 power 4 equal to 16, 2 power 5 equal to 32. Have a close look at the above. You would see that 2 is multiplied every time with its own self, the last digit changes. On the fourth multiplication, 2 power 5 has the same unit digit as 2 power 1. This shows us the cyclicity of 2 is 4. That is, after every fourth multiplication, the unit digit will be 2. So cyclicity table for numbers is given as below. Cyclicity of 1 is 1, cyclicity of 2 is 4, cyclicity of 3 is 4, cyclicity of 4 equal to 2, cyclicity of 5 equal to 1, cyclicity of 6 equal to 1, cyclicity of 7 equal to 4, cyclicity of 8 equal to 4, cyclicity of 9 equal to 2, cyclicity of 10 equal to 1. So now I give procedure to find the unit digit. So for any given number x to the power y. So follow the steps which is given below. So there are two cases. First case, remainder should be greater than 0. Second case, remainder equal to 0. So if remainder greater than 0 means the formula for units digit is L power R, where L is the last digit and R is the remainder when y divided by cyclicity of last digit L. In case 2, if r equal to 0, we further split into two subcases. That is subcase 1, for L equal to 2, 4, 6, 8, we conclude that unit digit equal to 6. Subcase 2, for L equal to 3, 7, 9, unit digit equal to 1. The digit in the unit place of the number 7 to the power 295 into 3 power 158 is. So first cyclicity table for 7 is 4. So you divide 295 by 4, you get remainder 3. Therefore, the formula is L power R. So 7 cube. Then cyclicity table for 3. So cyclicity of 3 is 4. Then you divide 158 by 4, remainder is 2. Therefore, last digit will be 3 square 9. Therefore, unit digit of the given number is 27. Hence, option 1 is the answer. Now, we discuss about discount versus rebate. Discount and rebate are commonly used terms in today's dynamic markets, especially the e-commerce world. Rebated and discount are distinct forms of price cuts which directly or indirectly promote the overall sales of a business. Both the terms may sound similar, however, there is a considerable difference between discount and rebate. So the difference between discount and rebate, it is provided by a seller to the buyer for reasons such as inferior quality of goods, inaccurate quantity, missing buyer specific features in the final product, delayed supply, etc. So unlike a trade discount which is provided mainly for high quantity buying, a rebate is for reasons which help a supplier to provide healing touch in a situation that is unfavorable during the process of selling. Example of rebate. Goods worth 10,000 were sold by Unreal Corp to ABC Corporate, but some of the goods were of poor quality. Therefore, after a mutual agreement, Unreal Corporate allowed a rebate of 1,000, that is 10%. So, discount, it is granted by a seller to the buyer in two distinct forms, trade discount and cash discount. So, it may be allowed out of the selling price, also known as the maximum retail price or catalog price, or as a reduction from the net amount payable. Trade discount, it is provided to encourage large quantity by buying and is mostly provided to resellers. Cash discount, it is provided to encourage yearly payment. This helps the seller to maintain cash flow and healthy working capital. Example of discount. Goods worth 10,000 were sold by Unreal Corp to ABC Corp, 10% each. Cash discount allowed at 5% if payment is made within 15 days. So this means a trade discount of 10% and an additional 5% discount if the payment is made within 15 days of the sale. So finally, in this presentation, I will explain video profiling. So what is a profile video for personal branding? A profile video is a short video with a duration of 1 to 2 minutes that gives an overview of your personal brand. It introduces who you are, what you do, the audience you are targeting, and how you can add value to the organization. Your objective is to be able to create a profile for your brand within this brief time. So it is typically the first video your audience sees on your website. So create a quality video to have the best first impression. The most important thing to remember is that the content that you give out and how you put it out, the medium, the language, etc. So must be relevant to the target audience. So it is basically a short video that acts like a supplement to your conventional resume, giving information about your qualifications and skills. So it lets you go beyond the traditional methods of applying for a job. If done correctly, it enhances your efforts to promote yourself to prospective employers. But if not done professionally, it can also ruin your chances of getting an interview. So it must be done right. So why should you go for one? A video resume is an enhancement and not a replacement for your conventional resume. It showcases your creativity, your knack to think out of the box, and most significantly, your personal characteristics and qualities, which a customary resume does not do justice to. So, furthermore, it gives your potential employers an opportunity to appraise how you communicate, convey your thoughts, and present yourself. Apart from demonstrating what your skills are and what all you have accomplished. Video resumes also expose facets of your personality which paper resumes cannot communicate. So, how to prepare an effective video? So, to start with, a video resume should be like a supplement to your paper resume. So, it should be simple, professional, and 2 to 3 minutes long. So, you don't have to narrate your entire resume as employers already have a copy with them. So, don't use your 120 seconds to speak what they already know. So, instead you use your time to tell and show employers what they can't find out from your resume alone. So, for example, talk about an accomplishment and elaborate how you attained it. So, include aspects you like in a job or a place of work. Employers like to know your strengths and weaknesses and how you plan to align them with the company's culture and vision. So, also with your video resume, don't go overboard by making it too funky or too creative. So, keep it simple and professional, like you are sitting with a plain backdrop. So, some more effective tips for your video resume. Dress appropriately and smartly, talk into the camera and maintain good eye contact, speak clearly and not too fast, smile and introduce yourself, eliminate disruptions or any background noises, wrap up with a thank you and your contact details. So, thank you.